Hi, everybody. This is Noelle from Petitti's, and we're here at our Oakwood Village store. And we are going to talk about what's in store for June. And as you can tell, it is Perennial Gardening Month, and there are so many lovely plants that are in bloom. Again, when we talk about this, we're about a week or two ahead of what is normally blooming in the ground, in the landscape, what have you. But lots and lots of color to choose from. We always love coming over to Stella's area. She's always got some great color combos for us and just great plant combos. And this is no exception. Right now, the Veronica are in full bloom. This is usually your Veronica spicata. So it's your spiky Veronica. This one's called Veronique Rose. Beautiful, bright pink coloration. This is a really, really dependable plant, but you can get Veronica in lots of different colors, blues and whites and so forth. And then look at it coupled with the yarrow or Achillea yarrow. This is moonshine, really, really beautiful, kind of soft yellow. Really love it out there. This silver foliage is a very, very aromatic. It holds up really, really nicely in the garden. And with both of these plants, again, you're going to want to cut and use, and they'll come back and they'll do really, really nicely for you. Behind it, which actually in the garden, I would take that plant. This is catmint or nepeta, Persian blue, and I would place it in front of the Veronique rose and then also the moonshine yarrow, because that would be a little bit lower mounding in front. So you'd have a nice pink, blue, and yellow scheme that would look gorgeous. As we keep going this way, we're actually looking at this beautiful butterfly bush. This is Buzz Hot Raspberry. Look at that. Buzz is a compact butterfly bush variety that we grow. We tend to grow it in perennials, that particular variety. And then look at that, it's coupled at the base with this beautiful coral bell. And we've talked about this one a lot. This is Peach Flambe. Peach Flambe has such beautiful, changeable colors and shades in its foliage. The top side right now is sort of a darker peachy copper. And of course, when you flip that leaf over, it is a lovely violet kind of pinky color. So it goes really, really nicely with hot raspberry. I love that. That's a great one. And then moving this way, we have some Gaillardia that are still looking fantastic. This is Spin Top Red. So Spin Top Red is coupled with, I have Marcus Salvia here. Marcus is one of the smallest meadow sages. It's also a little bit later bloomer, but again, sages, what's fun about this is the sages are starting to fade a little bit. So that spiky color that you get in the garden, they start to fade in June. Make sure that you cut them back. They will fill out and grow for you again. But what replaces them is the Veronica will come up and be that spiky color in the garden. So it is a good thing to have Veronicas in a certain area and the meadow sages in another, so that they can kind of like counter flower with each other. And then right next door, look at the lilies. So it is time for lilies. This is LA Summer Blush. And this one right here is called Tiny Diamond, and it's that pink flower with the white diamond in the center. Really, really gorgeous. Again, you can't beat the lilies for that June blooming, great cut flowers. Just be aware, most of the things that we showed you are fairly deer resistant, but these guys you're going to need to protect if you have deer coming around and browsing in the garden. So just be aware of that. We've got a great display up here with a few more lilies that we wanted to show you, because there's such variety in some of the oriental varieties that you'll see out there. But again, coupled with some beautiful foliage plants. And I love these two together because you have a very dark leaf obsidian coral bell or heuchera. My gosh, it's almost black, not quite, but a really, really deep purple, very shiny. Obsidian does really, really well for us in the sun, in the shade. So you're always going to get beautiful color and texture. And then look at that. This is Powys Castle. This is an Artemisia. It does grow a little bit more upright and bushy, but that blue-green ferny texture, beautiful contrast between the two with the colors and the texture. And then you can plant them along with the lilies in sun. So this is going to be more of a sunny garden. But I will tell you, look at these lilies. Taylor is a Pittsburgh fan, so we'll show you this one first, okay? The yellow and the black. Look at that. Isn't that cool? So that's tiny, massive, which seems like a little bit of a, contrast there. And then up above, this one is the orange and kind of brownish, right? Kind of brownish burgundy. That one is called Tiny Ink. So kind of fun there for the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Browns colors. June means coreopsis, and we are going to have a lot coming into bloom here. There are a few earlier varieties that started in May, but really June is when they really start taking off. This one is called Sunfire. And then look at this one. This one is Uptick Gold Bronze. Beautiful plants. Your coreopsis, again, we can't say enough about them, but they are nativars to Ohio. They are deer resistant. They're repeat blooming. They do really, really well out in the garden as a cut flower. Just grows and grows and grows and does such a nice job out there. So if you want some color in your perennial garden or landscape, do try some of the coreopsis. They're really, really nice. And I was going to say, even the fern leaf tick seed type varieties are just really, really budded up right now. So they're coming very, very soon. Red satin was just starting to bloom as well. So that deep burgundy red, but they are fantastic for the sun. You know what grows well with coreopsis? Lavender. This one that I have in front of me is Vicenza Blue. It is a nice deep blue lavender, especially when those buds are real tight. And then when it opens up, you get more of that kind of a true lavender color. But this is an excellent variety, maybe 12 to 14 inches tall, not very big at all, but nice and bushy in the garden. They need full sun, well-drained soil, so keep that in mind, and the coreopsis can take that as well. So planting your lavenders, your coreopsis together, lavenders and daisies, Shasta daisies are starting to come out too. That's a great pairing right there. We are in the shade now. So for shade plants and shade color, believe it or not, look at all of these bleeding hearts. This is a fern leaf bleeding heart, so Dicentra exemia. They are nativars to Ohio, and folks, they bloom a lot longer than your classic Asian bleeding heart, okay? Which most of us have in our gardens, but they tend to disappear once the heat comes on. So you're gonna see the fern leaf bleeding heart all the way through June, July, usually into August. And these can actually take your shade to that part shade condition, that 4 to 6 hours, and do very well. They can take some sun too. So this might be a nice alternative if you want to see bleeding hearts longer into the growing season. They look beautiful at this time of year. Right next door, I have Aruncus or goat's beard. This one's called Chantilly lace. This is a variety from Proven Winners. I'll tell you that, again, kind of low and ferny foliage, sort of those upright spikes, looks a lot like a stilby, kind of a compact variety of a stilby. But again, this is doing wonderfully, blooming in May, end of May, and then coming over into that June and still looking absolutely gorgeous. This is not your typical goat's beard, though. Just so you know, goat's beard typically is like a 2 to 3 foot plant. This one's going to be very compact. You're really looking at maybe about 12 inches with this one as far as height is concerned, but still really beautiful, good interest in the shade, and will provide a lot of color. And then if you look behind me over my shoulder, and you see a rainbow of coral bells. There are a few varieties of heucherella, which is tiarella or foam flower, and heuchera together, which is the coral bell back there. But most of them are coral bells, and there are so many wonderful colors. So if you need to add color to the shade garden for really most of the growing season, they will foot the bill and do really nicely for you. Still plenty of time to plant annuals in June. And my gosh, we've had a very kind of unusual spring where it was kind of a roller coaster ride. We ended up very cool and wet. But now that we're moving into warmer times, guess what? Plants like Kufia are going to be really happy about that. So there's lots of different types of Kufia, lots of different flowering different varieties here. So Vermillionaire is very, very popular. And I should tell you, this plant is really great in full sun conditions and has that very narrow tubular flower that you can see, that orange flower. And boy, hummingbirds are all over it in the summer. The next one I wanted to show you is this variety. This is what they call, and it's a terrible name, but common name is a bat-faced Kufia, and it's supposed to look like a bat, okay? Much larger flower, but still very, very tubular. This one is called Watermelon Wine. So beautiful red, again, very attractive for the hummingbirds. And it will come in and it's just a fantastic plant, very bushy, more upright. They could be a filler or a thriller in a container garden or out there in the landscape. So do look for that one. And then this one with this bicolor purple, this is frosted violets. Look at how beautiful that flower is too. So that's a bat-faced Kufia versus, I've heard this called a cigar Kufia, that very narrow-throated one. So very fun, very different, but all really, really good for sunny, even moisture to slightly drier conditions, and of course, really good hummingbird attractant. Another really good annual for the sun is Bidens, okay? When we were talking about the coreopsis blooming outside, Bidens they kind of bloom sort of the same time. They come on at the same time, the coreopsis too. And Bidens really, again, like that full sun condition, well-drained soil, can take a lot of heat, a lot of drought, do really nicely. There's a couple different varieties. Goldilocks Rocks is a really beautiful, large flowering variety, really nice. Be Happy is a nice kind of variegated red, orange, reddish, rusty reddish, really nice. And then this one's a little bit more compact. That's Golden Empire. So you can see the flowers a little bit more compact. Foliage is a little bit different. Bidens, there are native Bidens to Ohio. So they do have some native roots here and there. Again, these are just going to be annuals for you, but you will find, like the coreopsis, the goldfinch will come around and they will pick at the center cone for you, take out the seeds. So very, very fun, good plant to grow, again, for sun, annual containers, in garden beds, no problem whatsoever. You'll get a nice, happy yellow color all through the seasons. Again, one of our favorite annuals, the flowering vinca, deer resistant, nice and compact, great for sunny spaces. We really enjoy these. Lots of different colors here with the vinca family, mostly pink shades, a little bit of violet, a little bit of red, different colored eyes usually on them. We do have some of the more, should I say, designer colors, maybe the blueberries, the lavenders, that type of thing too. So they're just starting to come in. And again, folks, when you have cold, wet springs, they do not like that at all. So we really need to wait for the soil to warm up, and June is a perfect time for that. When we get the sunny days, the soil warms up really nicely. The vinca will do so much better for you in the ground, and of course you can put them in containers where the soil is going to warm up a lot faster. Okay, so just be aware of that. And then zinnias. So I've got Magellan zinnias right through here, larger flowering zinnias, excuse me, but very compact. We love the zinnias because they attract all the beneficials. So you will get hummingbirds, you will get butterflies, you will get bees around the zinnias. So we really love that. We love them as cut flowers. There's lots of different colors to choose from, again, with that Magellan series. So you'll see all of them. And just behind Taylor, there are profusion zinnias that are just starting to come into bloom. Profusion zinnias are a lot smaller, but they're also more of a mounding. They're not prostrate, but they are a very compact growing zinnia, and they tend to branch and spread through the landscape. So they're really nice bedding plants in that respect and do really, really well. Bunch of different colors again, but really attract those beneficials into the garden. So that's a nice one to have around. It is June and it is safe to plant all your vegetables. We had a trying spring. It was a little bit cold and wet. So needless to say, as that soil warms up and we're getting more sunny days, it is safe to do all of your vegetable gardening. So we have starter plants of your tomatoes, your peppers, your cucumbers, your zucchini, leafy vegetables. If you still want to put in cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, they all take time. So make sure you get those planted. There's corn, there's carrots, there's lots of different things to grow and eat. So definitely come on by. And then if you just want to grow a big tomato in a container, we've got ready to grow tomatoes. Most of these are grafted varieties. So it means that you have a very vigorous, hardy, disease-resistant tomato as the rootstock. And then we usually take a slower growing tomato, like an heirloom tomato, that we graft on top of it. And then you get this wonderful, vigorous tomato that's really, really productive. As you can see, blooms a lot, and it'll really start producing a lot better, a lot quicker for you. So we love the grafted tomatoes, but there's other varieties here as well, a little bit larger to start with. Really, the tomatoes are in full bloom right now. I have the hanging baskets behind me as well. So still plenty of time to work on your vegetable garden. We've got some spillers here, and we try to mark out the thriller, the filler, and the spiller. So if you're still looking for those accent plants to add to a container garden, or maybe kind of a low front edger, these are great plants to grow. Again, these are all annual varieties. I have sedum lemon coral in the front here, nice fine ferny sedum. This is not hardy, so there's some hardy varieties outside in perennials if you're interested in a hardy ground cover, but these are really, really nice. They can grow in sun or shade, do quite a bit as far as accenting your planting. This is a newer plant for us. This is called Didelta Silver River. It is kind of unique in the respect that it has that sort of Dusty Miller look to it, but a really good house plant, very, very succulent, really nice for the sunny areas. Again, as we keep going, we have sweet potato vines and all the different colors and shapes. Again, great spillers, and will trail out and move through garden beds as well. If you've never grown a sweet potato vine, they will produce little tubers under the soil. So just be aware if you're digging and you hit something and you think, what is that? It is probably a sweet potato tuber. They're really ornamental vines, but you can eat the tubers if you want to try it. Just be aware, okay? As we move down, I wanted to show you the dichondra. We love this as a spiller because it will grow in full sun and full shade. And I've always shown dichondra, really, really graceful looking leaves. This plant will produce trailers, and it's nice and short right now. It probably just got cut back, but it will grow, and the trailers will grow feet upon feet upon feet. So if you hang it up in a hanging basket above, it'll trail all the way down to the ground and keep on growing. So this is one of our favorite trailers. For sun or shade, no problem. And one last one that we should show you. I've got licorice vine right next door. That's always a really good hardy one. Some of the flowering as well, Bacopa, Scaevola. Scaevola is a nice sort of succulent, really, really hardy in those drier, sunny conditions. If you need something that's going to hold up for you, there's pink, there's white, there's some purple as well. I've always showed this one too. This is what we call creeping Jenny or moneywort. It is in the Lismachia family. It is a wonderful trailing spiller. I will tell you, it is a hardy perennial ground cover as well, and can be quite aggressive when it does grow in the garden. So we like to use it in containers. As it spills over the side, it will continue to grow and trail. Great for sun or shade. It'll grow just about anywhere. So all good spillers out there. One other thing that we wanted to show you that's just starting to come in and flower really nicely are the salvias. And so this is an annual sage or salvia. This is rockin' blue suede shoes. Look at that deep blue color. This is in a combo with kufia. Look at that. So that nice orange cigar kufia, right? And then there's also pentas in here, which are, again, a later season bloomer. They like the heat. They really need it to come on and flower. So this is called Pollinator Paradise. And it's going to be fantastic because the salvia attracts the pollinators like none other. We talked about the kufia and the hummingbirds. Absolutely. Pentas, the butterflies love pentas. So this is going to be a really cool one for June. I'm standing in the nursery and I'm by the Sweet Bay magnolias. Sweet Bay magnolias are native to Ohio. They are a beautiful kind of shrub-like tree, if you will. Sweet bays come out of the ground. They have multiple branches. So it is more of a shrub form, sort of oval. And when they grow up, they are about 10, I would say full height after a few years, maybe 20 foot tall, but really a beautiful flowering option and much later than your saucer magnolias and the other types of magnolias that can sometimes get damaged with your spring frost. So do look for Sweet Bay. They are these beautiful creamy white flowers. And I'm going to tell you, when they open, they're wonderful. They have a wonderful fragrance. And they're really, really nice right now. Good height. You can keep them pruned back if you want to. They really have this, oh my gosh, sorry, the lemon scent just hit me right in the face. So they do have a very strong fragrance. They're deer resistant, great for sun to part shade. Just a lovely, lovely tree to have around your home. So the Weigela are looking lovely. And again, you get blooms. Normal season, they'll start in May, but really you start to really see them fill out in June for us. And there's so many beautiful foliage color varieties, flowering varieties. So do look at Weigela. There are variegated varieties like Vino Verde here, which has the green and the burgundy on the foliage. I've got Sonic Bloom. This is the pure pink right behind me. So that's a really neat repeating bloomer, green leaf. But burgundy foliage, white and pink variegated foliage, the white blooming varieties like Wine and Spirit. But oh my gosh, they're looking gorgeous right now. And you can get very compact varieties, maybe a foot or two tall to like 4 to 5 foot tall. So it just kind of depends where you can place the Weigela, but they grow really well for us. They attract the hummingbirds. They'll repeat bloom if you cut them back after that first bloom cycle. And boy, they can give you a lot of foliage interest out there. We just found the wisteria in the nursery. And these are actually native wisteria. I should say nativars because they do have actually some are straight species and some have varieties to them. But these are the wisteria that are less aggressive than Asian growers, and they're also way better bloomers. They come out after the foliage flushes out. So when you see wisteria vines and you just see the flowers, you'll know that those are Asian varieties. But the native varieties, the foliage comes out first and then the flowers for June. Isn't that awesome? So here we are. We've got, this is Wisteria macrostachya. They have a little bit longer raceme blooms. They are in the pea family. They smell sweet and wonderful. This one is called Summer Cascade, It is a white and bluish with some purple in there too. So Summer Cascade is really, really nice. The receivs, when they open up, they get to be about anywhere between like 8 to 12 inches long. So really showy and beautiful. Look at that. And then the one in front of me, this is American Wisteria. Wait, that's Kentucky Wisteria, Kentucky. And this one is called American Wisteria. This one's Wisteria frutescens. And this one, you can obviously tell the difference. The flowers are more barrel shaped, so they're not as long panicles, but still very fragrant, wonderful. The pollinators love them. I was talking about they're a little bit less aggressive than your Asian wisterias. Don't get me wrong, they still need very strong support system to them, but they are not as aggressive. You're looking at, let's say, anywhere between 10 to 30 foot tall, about 2 to 10 foot wide. It's how you train them. And then, of course, let them grow up. You should always prune in the springtime with these. Bring them back to the structure that you have them growing on, because they bloom on new wood. And the macrostacca type is actually a little bit better at repeat blooming through the season. Not a heavy flush like it is first at the end of May and beginning of June, but it will sporadically repeat bloom. So then my next tip for this is don't let them go to seed. They'll produce those fuzzy seed pods. Remove those so you get more energy so it can produce more flowers for you, okay? So how cool is this? Native wisteria. Awesome. This is Korean fir. It is Hortsman Cyberlock is the variety name. And look at these beautiful needles. Firs or ABs are very soft needled types of evergreen trees. This is a very slow grower, folks, so it's kind of one of those specimen. Slow grower, maybe 8 foot after 10 years. So again, little by little, it'll grow out. They do have a pyramidal habit, but they also kind of have this beautiful horizontal branching that comes out from it. So very unique habit with this fir. And oh my gosh, I mean, Taylor, did you get a close-up of these needles? Look at when they're really, really tight, they're sort of twisty, and then they start to open up and you get to see more of the green. So they really are beautiful and interesting. And I'm going to tell you folks, this is a fir for more part shade areas. So you want to keep it cool. It's got to be in well-drained soils. It cannot tolerate wet and clay. So just be aware of that. And it's just a cool specimen. So plant it with hydrangea, plant it with some coral bells underneath. But this is going to be a really pretty specimen for someone. We've got a nice combo that Dave set out for us today. I have to tell you, in June, the Weigilla really start to fill out and bloom really nicely for us. This is Wine and Spirits, which is a beautiful kind of green to slightly burgundy leaf, and then a white flower, really, really nice and pretty. Next to it is Scotch Broom. This is Sister Disco, beautiful yellow red variety, very compact, as you can tell. Nice compact pea shrub. Right behind it, humongous Summer Crush. That is a really big one, Taylor. I think that might be a 5-gallon back there, but this is going to be gorgeous, totally filled with those raspberry colored blooms. Summer Crush is part of the Endless Summer series, so it is a remandant or repeat blooming mophead or macrophylla hydrangea. And then right next door, this is going to be a lace leaf Japanese maple, or dissected leaf, we'll call it sometimes. This is Inaba shidari, really beautiful reddish burgundy foliage. Again, that fine ferny texture. You can grow all of these in sun to part shade, okay? Yeah, I know, and you're thinking the Summer Crush hydrangea too. Yes, Summer Crush takes quite a bit of sunlight, so it will do very nicely. Keep the moisture very even if you're going to grow the macrophylla hydrangea in the full sun. But Inaba shidari, Summer Crush, the Wine and Spirits, and Sister Disco, good combo right here. Again, will give you a lot of color, a lot of foliage color and texture as well. This is June in the garden center. Enjoy.